Since the prequel started to release recently, I thought it would be fun to look back on Life is Strange and put out some thoughts on its first season. Life is Strange follows Max Caulfield and Chloe Price, a couple of old friends that have long been separated, and now it's kind of your job to deal with the fallout of having them reunited. It's one of those games where the story adapts to how you play, and a lot of the options the game gives you are related to your relationship with Chloe. In a lot of cases, it feels like you're either with her or against her, but you'll quickly see after starting the game that she's a very important character. This game also involves a new mechanic that's pretty unique to these types of story-driven games: time travel. Have you ever played a game and saw a really funny or really rude option that you just loved to see the result of, but didn't really want to risk screwing up your playthrough to find out what happens? The time travel mechanic lets you go back and choose another option if you want to. Only recent choices you've made can be redone, but it's still pretty powerful. You can see all of the outcomes of your actions before deciding which one you want to go with. That makes the game easy then, right? If you know all the possible outcomes to every decision you make, wouldn't that make the game pretty predictable and, well, meh? I wouldn't say so. Even knowing what the immediate outcome of your actions were, it was still hard to tell just how the action you chose will have an effect in the long run. This is most likely due to the game's mysterious nature. You don't know what your choice will do because you're not even really sure what's going on. You're quickly dropped into the story right away, until it eventually starts to slow down to allow you to discover the setting and characters of the game. This is where some players might be driven away from Life is Strange. The game has a great indie feeling art style, but the setting feels like it was geared towards a specific audience. If you've seen any trailers or really anything for this game, you probably know what I mean. The high school kid's manner of speaking can be almost cringy. It's been quite a while since I was in high school, but I don't remember anyone saying stuff like hella or ready for the mosh pit, shaka bra, whatever that means. I thought it was cute, but other people might not like it too much. A part of me wonders if this was because of the script being translated, since it was originally written in French. Maybe the French audio version is completely different? I have no idea. But if the beginning didn't hook you in, you might have a hard time getting through the first episode if you don't have that curiosity driving you. Putting the weird lingo aside, many of the characters have a lot going for them. It may not seem like it at first, but the game does a good job at developing characters and allowing you to discover more about them if you like. Playing this game will let you watch the characters grow as the story develops and gets ever so stranger. And what a strange story it is. I think the unpredictability is a really strong point in this game. Not really knowing what's going to happen next, even given the power to choose your own path, really adds to this game's mysterious nature. Why is this happening? How is this happening? What's going to happen? I found myself on edge for most of the game. I love being introduced to bizarre premises because that makes me want to know why things are the way they are, and discovering things as you play is a lot of fun. The journey through the game is a fun little adventure, but there is one little thing that made me lose that feeling. Story-driven games that give you options that can change your playthrough seem to be very difficult to develop. I would think that you want to give the player as many options as possible to influence their experience, while still keeping the general story there, and then you have the ending. You can either have multiple different endings for the game, or just one that's slightly modified from your actions. Life is Strange goes the multiple ending route. 2 endings, with one being very obviously more canon than the other. I thought the game having multiple endings was fine, but the way you get your ending didn't seem right to me. I won't go too into it to avoid spoilers, but not only is the ending obvious, which would be alright on its own, but it isn't influenced by your playthrough at all. Not even a little bit. You'll see what I mean once you get there. There was definitely a big opportunity to have your choices alter the ending, and just a little bit would go a long way to make it feel unique. To me, when it happened, it almost felt like the game format wasn't worth it. Thinking back on it now, I did enjoy the journey along the way, and even though the end didn't quite deliver, I still had a good time playing it. I do want to talk about the format just a little bit more before I end this video though. I wouldn't be surprised if some people were a little concerned with the game being in per episode format. Right now, with the entire game released, I don't think there's anything to worry about. You don't have to wait a few months for the next bit of the game to come out. This is how I was playing it, and it can get kind of annoying to play part of the game and then wait a long time to play some more. But a really great part about keeping up with the game as it was being released was the community. I'm the kind of person that loves going through fan theories, and between episodes was a fantastic time for those. There were a lot more questions than answers during those times, and it was a lot of fun trying to predict what was going on or what would go on later. Unfortunately, playing the game now, you're probably going to miss that. You can always go back to read the theories after you finish an episode, but I don't think it'll be quite the same. As far as I know, the first episode is free on all platforms right now, so if you haven't played it and you're interested, give it a shot. You might enjoy it. If you're looking for a game with mystery, it's also very endearing, I'd recommend Life is Strange, and I'll be watching to see how the prequel, Before the Storm, goes too.